Hey folks, we have another new product from Aputure and Amaran here. This is the 2-foot LED tube light in the Pixel Tube series. It's called the PT2c. It has only been 1 year since they dropped the T2c, which was another 2-foot tube. So let's check out what's new and how it stacks up to the old T2c. Now the biggest difference is the built-in battery and 8 independent controllable pixels inside of it, so you can do movement with different colors, program it into your own effects, and just get a little more use out of this tube light rather than the T2c from last year, which is only one color at a time. There was a blending mode, but nothing like 8 independent colors going all at once. The other big difference about this newer version is that the battery is now built in the tube. So no more bulky batteries sticking out of the end. This new version is supposed to give you around 170 minutes, almost 3 hours of runtime at max power. I don't think the T2c gets that amount. What is also nice about the built-in battery is now the bezels come all the way across to the ends. So this feels like a cross or possibly a middle point between the T2c and the MT Pro. You can get these newer versions in a 1-foot tube as well. That would make this very similar to an MT Pro, but what you aren't getting is the smoothness of those MT Pros. These PT2cs only have 8 LEDs inside of them compared to the 32 pixels in the MT Pro. So you will definitely see some chunky movement as it travels down, but that's not the end of the world, and to have any type of movement going on in something at this price point is pretty nice. Another nice feature that has been adopted from the newer MT Pro and Infini bars is that it supports this USB-C charging with an included 20-watt fast charging block. The T2c from last year has this long wire that you plug into the wall, so it's not the most portable, so very cool that they gave you all of this stuff to do that these days. Aputure and Amaran have gotten really good with their color accuracy these days. I'll flash the numbers up on the screen, but everything coming out this last year has been super high in the CRI and SSI numbers, so you can be confident this is going to match exactly what you want. Like all the other Aputure Amaran products, these are super easy to link up to the Citus app. I've never had any problems using it with connecting multiple lights, and that's why I really love these Amaran and Aputure fixtures, just because everything works with one app. You don't have to go across all these different user interfaces, user experiences. I mean, it gets really old. It's nice to just have it simple. I like the KISS method, keep it simple, silly. If you're a heavy-duty lighting person, you can connect this app to your DMX board, get all the bells and whistles out of this. So another super versatile light coming in with the familiar Aputure recipe. With this different body, there are a few different mounting points, and the one thing that I really appreciate is that they give you this nice hook attachment. At NAB this year, I saw a bunch of these hanging down just using the hooks in a circular formation. They were kind of dropping this icicle looking effect, and they just looked great. So for a couple $1,000 you've got a really nice light setup with the ability to get some really creative vibes going. I appreciate the white form factor in this newer version. It does make it a lot cleaner and easier to hide for some applications. The T2c comes in black, so if that's a really big deal to you, that's something to keep in mind. Also included in the kit are these 2 plastic clips for attaching them to other areas, attaching them to each other, but they're just plastic, so I wouldn't put too much trust in these. But definitely more ways to use this light is always welcome, and I appreciate that. There are also my favorite touches with these magnets on the back. These come in super helpful to me, as I'm always sticking these in the background as accent lights, underneath a microwave, wherever I can. It's really just a nice way to use these lights. And it seems like all of the new stuff coming from Aputure is having these magnets built into the place, so they figured out that that's just a super useful touch. There's the 3/8 by 16 mounting points at the ends, so you can stick this on a mini tripod, have it sitting on the ground. You can use it as your fill light behind the camera by having it as like a vertical light. And if you're shooting a vertical video now, all you need is that simple vertical light, and you can get this really nice effect out of the smaller version as well that comes in at $140 opposed to this, which is $300. Now the T2c comes in at $200, so you can see where this kind of tug of war inside your brain can start happening. with these things. It kind of reminds me of Apple these days with all these different variations that you can choose from. It can get pretty confusing. You really need to know what your application is going to be used for with these lights. Or heck, just get them all. I like them. I love these Aputure lights. They're super nice, super versatile, and the nice price for us all. I think over the last year and a half doing this show also, I've definitely gotten hooked on these Aputure Amaran lights, mainly because what I mentioned, I can use them all in just one app. No more fussing across multiple apps, no more fussing across all these different interfaces. I've never had any problems with these. I still have my first light from Aputure 7 years ago and it still works. So I'm gonna stick with these. We have one more video coming from Amaran soon, so hit that subscribe button for a heads up when it drops. Leave me a comment, hit that like button, and until the next one, folks, stay lit.